How's it going? Let's just get everything in the right place. I reckon that's about right. Cool. Cool. Well, I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone had a great, cracking week. Let's just switch the fan off like that. Yes. It's the phone telling me that it's time to start. Which is good. Ah, hoi Ben, how goes it? Let's give the dog a chew. Hang on. Keeping quiet for a minute. Haha! Yes. Oh, there we go, mate. Almost forgot. Ta-da! Oh, ahoy! Yeah, it's been quite a good week, really. First things first is you beat me to it, Rich. I was just gonna thank everyone. This week we've finally managed to make it to 1,000 subscribers. So a bit of a milestone this week, really. Very, very pleased. As our Grippy Beast, because they've been supporters right from the mere start of this, and yeah, it's nice to hit a milestone. And I should be speaking with the chaps at Beast Towers this week, and they've promised to give a prezi for me to raffle as a fun thing. So I've got to work out how to get all the subscribers' names in a hat kind of thing. But I'll work that out in the week and do an announcement video. So that's good. Very positive, I think. Yeah, thank you. Right. Well, that being said, let's get it on. So tonight we've got Cymry Warlord, or the Welsh Warlord, if you like. I will be referring to as Welsh for the rest of the video. Sorry, Welsh people, but I'm not very good at pronunciations, as we know. But yes, that's his code number on the website, SCYM01. Coincidentally, at BritCon, the Grand Melee this year was won by the Welsh warband, which was well done there. So, without further ado, let's get it on. Let's start with Moonstone Skin. So I've done the usual undercoat of Vallejo black with Vallejo grey Zenithal. I've got an old shield I dug out the box, so I was missing one. So that's ready to go. The base is the usual pumice and a brown oak watered down to colour it. So yeah, so we're starting with moonstone skin. Very nice. So I'm just gonna drop this on. Letting the medium work its little magic. Have you tried your medium yet, Rich? Had a chance? Just let that medium. As you see, the paint goes on much better. I've got some of the So there's me rushed to do a video for you. Okay. What was that for, Ben? Just laying down this base. Oh, I get you. So when you're spraying, you can, yeah, I'm with you. That's probably using the medium straight out of the pot, because out of the pot it's very much like school glue. You call it school glue, copy decks, isn't it? You can get latex liquid masking as well. That doesn't leach. Yeah, I should imagine that will be quite good. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, BrickCon was cool. I had a visit from Rich. Good to see you again, mate. I saw a lot of jugular griffin beast did, so there's a lot of happy gladiators going on this week, I should imagine. Okay, yeah, so that's the base layer of flesh on. So let's put the base layer of metal on. And go with gunmetal. The dog's finished his chew, is now decided he's going to go into zoomy mode. Hopefully it will calm down in a moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to save his bed from a very excited young dog. Just I lay a bit of medium into the brush before I go into the metallic. I'm not kind of watering the metallic down, I just want the brush wet. That just helps paint run nice. Yeah, so I've booked a stall at Colours and Warfare as well. So, because I'm having quite good fun getting out there at conventions and saying hello to everyone. So, I thought I'd carry on. I've still got stacks of stuff to clear from my painting room. Just letting a bit of medium into the brush. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I've seen more of BrickCon in pictures than I actually saw on the day. So sort of stuck behind my little table like. You come up with a name for that one. I can't even say it out loud on here because I reckon the video gets struck off. Okay, so that's our metal bases down. So we're going to work right through the reds today. So we're going to start with Basilisk red, which is our dark purplish red. Give it a good shake. And while giving that a good shake, we'll have a swig of the old liquid energize. Whereabouts is that con? I can't say the first bit of it. Oh, right, yeah, I remember now. Just get this base layer down. So using the medium to thin it out on the palette. Yeah, finally changed the eBay name as well, because it'd been 99p guide for a while, so I've changed it to match my X account, which is Paints Pirate, which is much cooler. Okay, just it's quite got really good coverage, this base purple red. If we wanted to go a bit quicker here, we could have started with the pure red or the dragon red. I'm just done like 3 layers, but we're gonna got quite a big expanse of red, so we're just working through the triads. Okay, then we're gonna go with angel green. It's one of those magic paints where if you really thin it out, it acts differently. Let's get the better brush. He got flanked by his own dog. Told Mrs. M, that's very good work, Rich. Very impressed. So that angel green, we're gonna put lots of medium on there. So yeah, because what I want is this green to be like that, very thin, and then as we put it on, it will show the undercoat through it. So see how thin that is? I'm using it, but how well it goes on there. Yes. I think it's for all those our GW brethren. Yeah, it's definitely a good paint to get as watery as you can and really let that under shading work for us. That's too, see there, it's gone, there's too much paint in there. So wash your brush out and grab some just pure medium and put the medium in there. And I'm just going to spread the paint that's there out. So see how much of that cloak that we covered with that bit of green that had gone into that. It's basically all those creases there just sucked the paint straight out of my brush. Yeah, it's quite strange how it goes for both sides, doesn't it? There's some I've got no qualms jumping in and out of any game. I think uh, you should try everything, enjoy as much as you can. If you don't enjoy something, it doesn't mean it's rubbish. It just means you don't enjoy it. So, move on. Um, but as people, it's not enough for their game to succeed. Every other game must fail. And I don't get that. Yeah. Yes, Rich. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Yeah, Zenithal with cans is tricky. I'd actually go as far to say he's probably best off hitting it with a black spray can and then do the Zenithal grey with a big fat dry brush. It's going to get a very similar effect. You'll still get a little bit powdery, but it will be more controllable through these kind of dry brushes. Then if you've got space, a little airbrush setup just it's perfect for. I mean, mine's a real workhorse, really. I use mostly for undercoating, lacquering, that sort of thing. But sometimes I get adventurous, and I think for smaller miniatures, unless you're going for competition painting, I don't really think that you benefit. There is some ones you can speed up your painting if you're batch painting with it, which works. But on the whole, anything smaller than a horse, I don't really get. You don't get your bang for the buck, I don't think. Is what I'm trying to say. Is what I was waffling to try and say. And I'd say it's about expectations as well. So buy a cheap setup with a cheap airbrush, and it's going to do your undercoating and your lacquering probably better than a expensive one. But don't expect to be doing delicate work with it. Whereas the more expensive brushes, I've got one or two of each, so I tend to use the cheap ones for the donkey work, then save the expensive ones for best, as it were. The dog has settled into a nice snore pattern now. All is right with the world. I just think this is another one of those gripping beast miniatures that almost kind of paints itself, really. This one's taking a bit of time with him. Oh, sorry, I didn't say which colour I was using here, did I? Burp. Right, I've gone with a base colour of Dusty Skull. Strong olive brown. Dog's proper story now. Okay, let's. Good evening, Karen. As you see, I've used a purple red already, just in case you turned up. Now I'm going for Crusader Skin Wash. That's the speed paint one. You see how nervous I know. I've been using purple. The guys will back me up that I've made sure I've been putting purple into stuff. Okay, so speed paint to Crusader Flesh. That's our flesh wash. Oh, I'd say retro. I did Fun Games painting some Northumbrian. Yes, he's mighty fine warlord. This one. This is our Cymry warlord. I was going to say I was just going to use the word Welsh, wasn't I, for now, just in case my pronunciation was rubbish, which at some point it will be. That's the flesh wash on. Let's get the dark tone onto the metally bits so that can start drying. Oh, blimey, there's not much of that left. Is there any left at all? Ah, I must have a little blockage. Now, the little tiny amount I've got left is now in my palette. Never mind. Just lay that on there. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was found a bag of somebody had gifted me a little while ago of the Northumbrian Tin Soldier Nightfolk. So I've been having fun playing with bright colours and cutesy wootsy miniatures. I can grab this and hanging around over here. Hey, cool. There we go. The snitch. Yes. Yeah, they're all on there. There's therefore and after. So you got therefore, and he's taking his potion, and after. They're great miniatures. And these people will recognise the Anderson sisters. Right, sure. Put them back over there. and crack on with some painting. Fletching arrows. Wow, that's pretty cool. I shot a few, but never fletched them. Yeah, they were good. They were good to. I think sometimes you got to. If we're painting a lot of the same stuff, you sometimes got to have a bit of a palette cleanser and just grab something a bit different. There's certainly that. So next we're going to do some leather. We're going to use our carnelian skin. It's really just his shoes, I think. Okay. I bet it's one of those things, Karen, isn't it? That it's easy to do, but hard to master. Because I'm sure anything I made wouldn't fly. Or certainly wouldn't fly straight. There we go. Yes, literally just. You sort of get to the sword in his hand, to the grip. There we go. So next, we shall get up the next purple, deep purple red Wyvern Fury. Sorry, I've got a bit boomy there, didn't I? Sorry. So let's do the next red layer. So I'm going to start building our highlights. So I'm going to leave that original purple right in the recess. So I'm not going to go right up underneath that chainmail there. But apart from that, I'm going to cover the whole area. So I'm just not quite going up to the top. Because these two, they're not incredibly different. Well, you'll see the difference though. They're not. It's quite a subtle step. But we'll just leave the very deepest crevice unpainted. And of course, we're not going to get right up into that chain. Same as we're not going to go right up under his cloak there. If you can hear me over the snoring dog. The ship's dog. Again, so this edge will catch the light. The one underneath the chainmail won't. So there we go, all the way around there. So now we do the same with the arms. I'm just going to leave the pretty much cover the whole of the top of the arm, because that's in good daylight apart from when it gets up near that cloak. Then all the way around underneath, because we can, just to strengthen that colour up a bit. But right around that bottom bit, I'll leave some areas unpainted, so that original purpley is there. So again, we're going to start there, just away from the edge. Start picking out the shape. Got a good shape on this sleeve. I'm just leaving that original one just in the recess. The same way as we're building up our highlights, we're also at the same time building our contrast by leaving the dark paint. Okay, so we can go straight on to the next colour. Let's go on to the green, give that time to dry. So we used angel green, so we go to guardian green, which in our little triad meter is number 2. It's a deep green. Now we watered that first one right down, and we're going to do the same with this green as well. So we're using the greens really thinned out quite a bit with the medium. And we're just going to do exactly what we just did with the red. So this top bit, we're just going to completely cover that with this new green. But as it goes up under his arm, on that fold, we're going to not go round, we're just going to stay on top. There we go. And then across this top. Do you use your good brushes with speed paints? No. Speed paints and contrast paints tend to destroy the brushes more than ordinary paints. They certainly do. I think it's the thinness of the paints as well as the actual makeup of the paint itself. As soon as you, Karen will have the right words for me here. Is it a facule, the metal bit? Facule? I don't know. But basically, any of that thin paint will be sucked up into the metal part, and once it gets into there, it dries in the top of the bristles and poof. So I think it's even more so with the contrast and washes, but it will do it with ordinary paint. You can see in my brush there that where I thin the green, it's already trying to sneak up the brush. Feral, that's it. I added a scene for some reason. Good work, Karen. You may all laugh at and snigger at me. I wonder why I was having so much trouble saying it. Yeah, so basically I'm going to work this green, but I'm going to leave that very last bit before that fold. I'm just going to feather it towards it. But these ones that are in the daylight, they're going to get the full amount. It was close. I have drunk a couple of tins of energy drink, and I've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning, so not doing well. I haven't sworn or anything yet, which is good. So I'm just going to work around with this green. Yeah, that edge we didn't do. That edge in there's in the dark, but what we'll do is we're just going to run it down that side, and then we're going to leave it darker by his body. Again there, I'm going to leave that corner a bit dark, and just in there. It's not actually realistic, but you're going with all of cool there, really. I'm just going to, there's too many light patches up there. That first one was a little bit too light. There we go. Sorry about that, I was mucking the autofocus was jumping about like crazy there. Okay, so that's the next layer of green, so let's go for the next layer of red. So next we get to dragon red, vivid purplish red. This is the first most reds I probably start with this red as a base now. But I thought we'd go the whole hog and put the purpley ones at the bottom as well. Because you can't have too much purple on your miniature, in fairness. Okay, so thin it out a little bit with our medium. And we start working back around that red. So we start with the highest edge. I'm just going to run it down there. And stop before you get to that fold. I don't want to go too close into that fold. And then I want to work from this lighter edge again. Just using the very tip of my brush now. There we go. Yep. I'm scared not to use the purple now, Karen, in fairness. So yeah, so down that top edge. And that bottom edge will catch a lot of light. And then we're going to work filling it out, leaving some of that purple showing through. Still working, not quite as thin as the green, but it's still thin. You can see where it's wet on there. I'll still put a bit more medium in it. I quite often do that, have a dip of medium on your brush. It helps it. I think the brush being moist helps the paint run. There we go. Dip to the medium. Okay, you can see there, we're not going to go into the groove. We're going to keep it on that high edge, but we're not going to go underneath the chainmail because we've been leaving that, and then we're going to work backwards, think about where the light's going to catch material. It doesn't shine, but it's going to look lighter. And here we've got to work around the bottom of that cloak. The cloak's throwing a shadow onto the red. If you think about that, the edge of this bottom of his tunic there is always going to be brighter because of the way the sun's going to catch the edge of it. Whereas the top edge is tucked to end the edge of that chainmail. There we go. Again, so we're going to start with the top of his sleeve, and we're going to go quite heavy with the red because obviously there's a lot of light hitting his arm, being at a right angle to the sky. I'm going to wash my brush out. I've got a bit of red that's just dived into that gap there, so we're just going to wash it out. There we go. So just basically work from the top and getting around to the edge, but I'm not going to do any of this red underneath his arm. So it's literally I'm gonna feather it a little bit into that gap, and then we're going to leave it all very purpley under there because it's in a lot of shadow. Oh yeah, Karen, we had some good news. We've hit 1,000 subscribers, so well done, crew. And the chaps at Beast Towers will be giving us a prezi to give away. So hopefully I'll get that sorted in the week and do a subscriber raffle thing. Should be cool. Details to follow. we go. So that's that red. And already look, that red's starting to look nice and shadowy. So next, let's move back to his trews. We're going to go for Tomb King Tan now. Oh, well done us, Karen. It's everyone's channel. I'm just the captain. I'm just steering the ship. Well, I'm not actually steering the ship. Commanding the ship. Yes. People will be flogged until morale improves. Yes. So we're going to do the same thing with this tan. We're going to leave that top edge nice and dark, so that's just top underneath his tunic there. And we're just thinking of where that light is catching the edge. Again, this is slightly different to how we paint our rank and file, as we know, because we can spend a bit more time on a warlord. There we go. Yeah. Deploy the washes and tones. Yes. Borrowing, Benjamin. We borrow stuff. Long-term borrow. So next we're going to do the skin tones. We're going to go to agate skin. Usually we go to the other one, but I'm just feeling a bit sort of frisky tonight, so we're going to use some different colours. So a bit of medium. I'm going to start highlighting those little bits of flesh that we got. So it's just a bit on his chin there. On the bottom lip, you can just see. A bit around the cheek. There we go, that's about what we can get to under there. On the back of his hand, it's going to catch across his knuckles, but not underneath where his sleeve is. So I'm just going to follow the groove of where his knuckles going to be. And then we start back in the other joint. There we go. A bit on there. Again, on the top of his thumb there. That's where all the light's been going to catch his hand. He will have his shield on here, but we're still going to paint it because it's good practice. So if anyone buys one of my miniatures, they know the hand's been painted before I glued the shield on. So on his legs. Okay, so that calf's going to catch a bit of light. And we'll work a little bit across there and feather it in until you get into an area where there's shadow. And we'll leave it with the other colour. There we go. Add a bit more medium. The thinner you get that paint, the easier it is to make a blend. You might have to go back over it a couple of times, but you won't get those real harsh blends if you thin your paint. Listen to Duncan. He's right. Thin your paint. You can always go in again and do another coat. If you dive back to the 80s and when we were using enamel and trying to get stuff to cover in one go and all this sort of stuff, yeah, don't do that anymore. You can if you like. It's up to you. Blimey, what's that? Okay, that sounds like some sort of elephant stroke slash dragon out there. Um, I'm starting to feel that my coffee might have been spiked by my wife. Okay, we're going to go greedy gold. As earlier with the tones and speed paints, I always swap brushes with the metallics as well, because metallic paint tears your brush up. And even though I'm using cheapy rubbish brushes, it's good to try and keep on them for a little while. Okay, so we're just gonna, oh, pardon me, drop that gold on there. Across there. Gold on his sword. Underneath. I always like to paint underneath and around the back. There we go. I think we'll do the tassely bits on his. Did you hit that time? And when it might not be an elephant or a dragon, or an elephant fighting a dragon. It might be somebody's garage door needs oil. But hey, it might be a kraken. The kraken. Just going to pick out some detail on his helm to make it a bit interesting. There we go. Nice. Happy with that? Dog sounds happy with it. You've got to love a bit of greedy gold. Bit of smaug. Smaug bait. Smaug nip. Yay! Let's go for the next green. It's a bit of a jump in the green triad now to green skin. Which, if I was an orc, I'm not sure if that's an appropriate term. I don't want to get bogged down into that. I don't know. But I just know that in the triads, I feel that the jump between Guardian Green doesn't look a lot in the pot, but when you get it on the miniature, it's quite a hefty jump. So this is where you've got to make sure you get that green skin right under control by putting some medium in it. Wash your brush and go back in and pick some up. You'll see what I mean as I start coming down the edge of this. Look. You see what I mean? It's quite a big jump. So keep it towards the edge. Keep it thinned out. Because remember, if it's thinned out, you'll start seeing the tone underneath it come through, so it will make your blend better. So you've got quite a bit on there now. So I'm going to put a bit of pure medium in there, and I'm just going to work on the miniature, just spreading that bit of paint to where I want it to sit. I'm going to carry on working around. Ahoy! Silver Scratch Build Productions. Hi ho, Silvers. How we doing? Welcome. So we're just filling that green skin and we'll just hit those highs. And we're not going to go into the folds at all. We're just going to hit the edges. All these folds, and we're going to hit the high areas where all the light's going to catch. Add some more medium. So yeah, all along the edge, we're going to run some of this. Top of that fold there. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so let's have a look at this bit underneath. So it's underneath his arm, so it's in the shadows, and we've already left that in a bit. So we're just going to come into the bit we done last time and just run a line down the center of it. Remember, we're using quite thin paint there, so it's not dangerous. Don't be scared. Yeah. Nice. Just pick out these higher areas. Working back around where we've just been. Because it's thin, we can do that. But I'm only going inside the colours that I've already done that. So those higher areas that I've already just highlighted, I'm staying inside those. I don't want any of my darker areas to get any lighter at the moment. There we go. Let's jump back to our red while that dries. We're going to pure red now, which is number 4 in your double triads. Not sure if that's the correct terminology, double triad. Steady, Ben. So yeah, so we're gonna add some medium to that red and make it nice and thin. Wash our brush out. Pick our thin red back up. Now we can always see where we've highlighted already, so I'm just going to go in, stay inside my highlights, and I'm going to work from the edge into the higher areas of his tabard. So obviously along the edge, his legs kicking it up towards the sunlight. And gently use a feathering effect, so just little touches. I'm just looking along these creases where they've been lifted up, so it's that leading edge is going to catch the most light. Then we're working back up any areas that are going to look cool. But stay inside the highlights we've already done. So this is giving our highlights a little bit more shape. All right, the one I'm painting at the moment. Okay, this is a dark age Welsh. Try to say that. Like, see where Tolkien went wrong. It's a dark age Welsh. It's from Griffin Beast. If you want to look it up, this is the code. Boom, boom, boom. SCYMO1. Cymry Warlord from Saga Age of Invasions. Really neat little skirmish game if you're not. But yeah, these are like Dark Ages guys, these ones. So just going on to that high shoulder piece, trying to make it a bit more circular to flatter his muscular shoulders. And as we work down there, we're going to leave some of that purple showing through. But remember, keep your paints nice and thin. Listen to Duncan, he's correct. Thin those paints. You can work more and more. So yes, that top edge of that's going to be the sun just banging down on there. So that top bit of cloth's going to look lighter. The cloth doesn't shine, the sun shines on the cloth, thus illuminating it for our eyes. Then we're going to just work back round. Okay. So now I realise I've not done his belt, but I was hoping to leave that a bit more purpley anyway. So I've done the first purple, so let's go up to the second purple. So that's Bassis Red is already on there. I'm going to jump up to Wyvern Fury. And I'm just going to lay down some quick dirty highlights along the top edge of this sash. Just picking out. So I don't want it the same red as his tunic. So I'm just going to use this purple, and we may, depending on how highlighty it looks, we may just touch one out of the purple range on it. But I'm just looking to catch those, any edges that are upwardly facing. I'm going to even do the ones underneath his sleeve, and even though they'd be in darkness, otherwise they're just going to be boring. So we're going to apply the rule of cool there. Yeah, it's all good to share. I mean, I paint a bit of everything, in fairness. I've got some sci-fi, love painting 40k stuff, and all sorts of other sci-fi. It does good to jump about and have a look. You never know when you're going to find something that's can interest you. Very good. There we go. So now, let's go to our next green. So we're going to jump up to Eternal Hunt, which is the next one up from Green Skin. So these greens tend to jump quite, well, they seem to, I suppose they don't, but they seem to, if you use the paints too strongly, they're really going to show they're not going to blend very well. So make sure you get some medium in there and thin them away. So we're going to thin that right out. It's starting to get quite a bit of yellow in them now. So it's nice and thin. We're just going to really now just look at doing a bit of edge highlighting. Okay, so we don't want a completely solid edge. You want to give it a little break. And then we're going to work that very highest part. Just do a little bit of feather painting across the top of there. Oh, that's cool, Ben. Yeah, so again, we're going to come down just the higher edges. Now we're just putting little lines in. So this is where the daylight is catching the folds of the cloth. There's creases. Just there. We've got our paint water down nicely. It's running off our brush nicely. We're going to make most of it. And then we're just going to fill a little bit more in on that highest edge. Across the front there. That's going to catch a lot of sun coming in. Remember where our light source is coming from. There we go. Again, our next red. We're going to go for Blood Chalice. So it says Brilliant Red, but this is, I'm not sure why it's called Brilliant Red, because it's very sort of salmony, sort of almost like a desaturated red, you know what I mean? But we're going to water it down again with our medium. Yeah, the medium I'm using silver. Do you mind if I call you silver? Is that cool? Is it's a matte medium I mix up, and it's pretty much Lamia medium. So yeah, but we're just going to use this Brilliant Red, and we're just again kind of like doing a bit of an edge highlight-y type deal. We don't have to worry too much on that one because that's going to be shadowed and behind the shield. Again, just going to tap away a little feathery edge. A little in there. A little bit of sleeve. This just makes a little bit of makes it interesting, draws your eye. We're just going to work along the edge again, and the edges. You hardly want this. As soon as this is showing up, you've almost put too much on. Some's run into the area we're trying to leave dark there, so I've washed the brush out. We just wick that area away. There we go. It's returned back to dark. This is where it came from. I'm going to go down the edge of this one. Not starting under the chainmail because that's too dark. We're just going to come along the edge there, along the bottom edge. I'm almost doing it with little tiny dots, if you see. I'm just letting the brush go. I don't want any real big, long, strong lines. Feather it in. You'll see better when tomorrow when I've checked it up on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. You'll see from the photographs. You can't really see these blends as brilliant under this light. Okay, so that's the red. Happy with the red? Yes. Okay, so that purple sash, we're going to jump into a pink colour to highlight that one. That's a bit too pink. Let's go for a magenta-y pink. Vivid purplish red. Impish Rogue. There we go. It's a colour you don't think you'd use on a Dark Age Welsh guy, do you? So again, bit of medium. We don't want this too thinned out because we're only going to just touch on this belt a little bit. So these little tiny edge highlights, so it's little tiny. Just catch the very edges. Nothing on that bottom edge, we don't want it. This overpower anything. So I'm just working from that top edge of his sash. Can you see that? There we go. Okay, that's good. So let's do the armour. So we want to go for shining silver. Let's put this into the dry palette, because putting it into the wet palette is crazy talk. You can get metallic everywhere. Swap to your rubbish brush, and I can just load up. I'm not going to wet my brush at all. I want it nice and dry, and I'm just going to do anywhere where I want it to look a little shinier, because we've hit it with that dark tone. There we go. It's on the, it'd be the bottom edge of those, his chest plate, and it'd be the bottom edge on that. Not too much, less is more here. And then across some of the chainmail, just make it look like it's, the odd bit is glinting. There we go. On his sword, just the edge, make it look nice and sharp. And we're going to do a little bit towards the tip. There we go. Just lightly letting my brush just dance. If it's a little bit too much, just as you saw there, I just rubbed it off with my finger a little bit. There we go. On his helm, again with those upper pieces we want it on, so just a little bit there. So it's almost like a very aimed dry brush, if you like. Because we've got that wash on it, it will take the silver paint very easily. There we go. That's the silver bit done. We're going to do one more green highlight. So we've done a turned green, so then it jumps to wild green, which is a light green. Give these a good shake, because you've got to give them a good shake. Otherwise the yellow kind of takes over and you get a really... Okay. A bit of medium in there. We don't want this anywhere else apart from right on these edges, and we want to break them up as well. So a little bit there. So now let's just concentrate on the edge. There we go, a little bit on this top edge. And it just, your brush just dance around, no pressure on it, don't let it get in there. Letting it get a little bit more on the front there, because that's where the main light will catch. A little bit at the bottom there. If I put a bit there, then it'll make the dark area we left in there darker, if you see what I mean. So you're gonna kind of push your contrast. That's enough of that. Let's find a good dark brown for his big fat mustache. I'm going for Brigadine Brown, which is a blackish brown, not a brownish black. Which is funny, is that one? It's not as dark. Don't figure. You think it'd be the same? Okay, so we're just going to use that one. I'm not going to put any medium in it. I want it nice and dark. It doesn't run off my brush very well, so just a little bit medium. We're all allowed to change our minds, it's cool. There we go. Okay. So how are we getting on? Right, let's do one of his trousers. So we're going to use skeleton bone next on those, which is our third olive brown. Just for our highlight. Because we've already had 2 on there, so we're going to make sure this is going to be our third and final highlight. It's a bit excessive on his trousers, really. But we're just going to go around this bottom edge where the light's going to be catching. But we don't want it to be like a tide mark. So instead of going round, go up and down, so you're making lots of little lines on it. Thin it a little bit so it blends in. So I'm painting little up and down, well, down strokes on it. Just coming around the edge. There we go. A little bit more on there. I think his trousers is done. I think we just highlight his shoes. We used carnelian skin for the colour, so we're just going to hit it with tiger's eye skin. A little bit of a highlight. Walk down. Okay, we're just going to hit any of the ridges on his shoes, the toes of them. And some of this will blend as well when we matte lacquer it. You know what I mean? There we go. The heel of his boot's going to catch a bit of light. Just work round and look and think, yeah, I'd like a bit there, but I'll just do it. Okay, so our red's done, green's done. So where are we? We are 1 hour 18 minutes in. And he's nearly there. Next is everyone's favourite, eyeballs, which is the added the added challenge tonight of them actually being inside a helmet. Woohoo! So I'm going to use matte white. Other whites are available, any white you fancy. Some people use the off-whites because they don't want them glaring. Whatever, personal taste. So I'm using my Psycho army painter. Bit of medium. Pick up a bit of white. Make sure you don't got too much on your brush. Lock your hand in. Boom, paint that eyeball. Get a bit of medium. Load your brush. And get in there. Get amongst it. They do go wrong sometimes. You can fix it. So now they're dry, we're gonna load our brush up again. I'm just gonna go for a second pass just to strengthen them up a bit. There we go. A bit cheeky then, because I knew there was enough moisture in the brush there to get the second one done. Okay, so let's see if we can get on camera. You can just about see the whites of his eyes. Wait till you see the whites of their eyes, crew. Okay. Sorry about that, I had a bit of a slurp. So next, we're going to dot those whites with a nice little black. That's my unwatered one. There we go. This is the watered down one. And not the camera, sorry guys. So This is our watered down Vallejo medium mix, so you can use it pretty much out of the pot, this one. I'm just going to lay a dot in there. There we are. Wash the brush out. Keep this brush. This is about 3 or 4 years old, this little brush. It's actually worn down to a couple of hairs. You can see how old it is because all the varnish is gone. If you look after these, they're a bit dear to buy, but they do last a long time. Keep the little plastic bit on them. Keep them nice. I only use them for freehanding and eyeballs. Let's have a look, see if we can get eyeballs on camera. There we go. Let's go. And you can see that side and that one. So he's eyeballed up. Eyeball Paul. Oh, I should have painted the background, but hey. So he's pretty done. So next is the shield. Here's a shield I prepared earlier. So I'm going to go with, let's use a crappier brush for a minute. Yeah, he's looking alright, isn't he? I was thinking about putting some fancy stuff around his arms, but I don't know. I'm not sure he's that sort of guy. Okay, so we go back to our dragon red, I think. Just thin it out a bit. I've already put, I think it was a khaki, brain matter beige on the shield. The back's already painted. This is just one of the spare shields I've kicking around. I've done it with some damage to it at some point, or I've attacked it with a craft knife to make it look a bit ugly. I'm just thinning that paint out with the medium. I'm worried about the edge because I can sort that out when it's glued on. I thought being Welsh, you better have a red base shield. I don't know, it just seemed right. Got any Welsh viewers in tonight? Anyone in from Wales? Obviously not, because what's the thinning medium? The thinning medium, it's a matte medium I mix up. Basically it's the same as army painter, like they do like wash mediums, and there's different mediums, but I just mix my own up. It's very similar to the Lamia medium. There's a little video, if you look if you look down the list of my videos, there's a little 5-10 minute video of the stuff I make up. It's basically I use it for everything because it's a lot cheaper than buying the Lamia medium or even the army painter stuff, and you can mix it to how you like it. Hope that helped. Yeah, check out the video. It's not a long one. It was a long time in the making because I kept putting it off, but it's there now. Promise you. So I'm just going to grab the black paint and paint the cheers. Yeah, it's all in there. It's what I use, and because once you've got access to that amount and it doesn't cost you a lot of money, you kind of use it more. and you find it's like this black I'm using at the moment. It's basically Vallejo black with loads of medium in it, so it's kind of very runny black. So when I use it to paint, say for instance, a black cloak, the undercoat shows through. So it's more like having a contrast paint, I suppose. And also when I'm doing eyeballs with it, it all runs. You can see almost how wet that is in there. And there you go. Look. So straight out of the pot without me putting any more medium in it. You see how thin that is. You add a bit more medium to it. Look. Now over a zenithal highlight, obviously your grey shows through, so you get your natural, you get 3 highlights, which is nice. I'll leave that over here because we need that in a minute once he's dry. Yeah, he's dry now. So what we do, grab some medium, and we're going to water that red that we've just done. We're going to thin it out. So I want to do another layer of it, just make it nice and smooth. But I don't want to take it too long to dry. So as you see, that's very thin, that red. And literally, I'm just using it to smooth what we've already got there out, because I'm going to do some freehand on there. So I want a nice surface to paint on. Leave that to dry a sec. What else can we do to him? Let's put his tufts on while we're waiting for that to dry. Let's just chuck that on there. Where's my tufts? Ah, there we are. There they are. So grab some tufts. I always use gamer's grass. Okay, I like them. Grab some tweezers. And I like to put a dab of super glue. Being an old-fashioned wargamer, I'm a bit of a belts and braces sort of guy. And even though they say they're self-adhesive, we all know as soon as you put them in a carry case, you get to wherever you're going and they're all over the place. So I put a little dab of super glue on there. Grab a random tuft. Boom. He's there for good. And we're going to have one there. Probably enough super glue there to... There we go. I think they make all the difference. I mean, I've got the thing to make my own tufts and a static grass applicator, which is great fun. It's great fun making tufts, but it's just something else I don't really get time to make now. So just make sure any of the loose ones are gone. Stick lid back on my goo. I like to keep tidy as I go along. Otherwise you end up working in a little tiny space. I got 8 foot of bench here and I'm working in 8 centimeters. Okay, so he's done, he's awaiting his shield. So next we're going to paint a nice black line across. Which was my better brush out of these? Let's see, is that one? So we're going to hold it and lock our hand off. We want it just pour a nice straight line. Marry it up that side. There we go. Just take your time. And if it goes wrong, don't worry. Just keep going. Don't panic. I think the thing is, if it goes wrong, is we've got a tendency to try and put it right straight away. Let it dry, come back in. Think about what you need to do just to sort the problem out. Don't try and do too much in one go. And just, I just thought that black is quite thinned out, so it's, you can leave it nice and smooth for us. There we go. A bit more that side's dry, so I just put another little coat on there. Over that side. There we go. Wash that brush out. We've finished that one now. Get back our white palette open again. So I'm finished with the black now. So I'll put the black lid back on. Let's get my little brush. Where's my little... Oh, what have I done with it? There we go. Oh no, that's my other one. There you go. I could just get my cycle brush back out. Right, I'm going to go to my matte white and put a little bit of medium in, a little drop of medium in it. Because doing freehand stuff is all about getting your paint consistency right, and you don't want it too thick. It will never flow. Sorry, am I getting on camera? Hopefully I was on camera. It's very hard to look at the camera and the short at the same time. So my apologies if we go a little bit of focus. But just make sure you slowly, don't rush it. Keep that paint nice and moist. So it's a bit hard to talk when you're trying to concentrate as well. So I've got a little bit too much paint on my brush here, so I'm going to just reset. I'm just going to wash that out. There might be a little bit of drying in there, and it's going to stop your paint flowing properly. And don't fight against anything when you're doing something that's quite tricky. It's just don't do it. Stack it all in your favour. Make sure the paint's right. Take your time, concentrate. Don't try and talk while you're doing it. because that's just stupid. See, now we've got the base of our swirly bits in. We can come back and add to them. So we can make a nice dot. Just strengthen the shape of them up a bit. There we go. That one needs a dot into the centre. So just be gentle. Make sure the paint's flowing properly. There we go. Make sure your paint's correct. If your paint's not going to flow right, it's just not going to work. So it's good to practice on shields. They're nice and flat, and that is your friend when you're trying to do stuff like this. Excuse me a moment there. Computer was trying to restart itself. That'd been absolute carnage. Where was I? Yeah. Again, don't try and do it all in one go. You can dip in and go back and change bits if you're not happy with them. Blah, 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 blah. You get the score. So you get something you're kind of happy with. It's going to be tricky for me to do it on the bottom half, because where I, using the shield, I put battle damage on, it will just bugger up, so don't even bother. That's a slight oversight from me there. So now we're going to go back in with that white again and do a bit more work on it. So let's make this top one better. Okay. And if you want it to look even tighter, what you do is you go back to your base colour. So get a bit of that red and just slowly work in to your design until you get the exact shape that you want. Just keep that nice and thin. because you're working from the edge, you can slowly shape what you got there. So that was a kind of weird angle. There we go. I think that'll do it. Again, you could do those swirly bits, you could tighten those up and make them thinner. Should we show you? Yeah, why not? So get the black back out. So load up with black. I'll try and hold it in mid-air. There we go. Usually lock my hand off against the bench so I don't get any rogue wobbles. But I'm trying to do it so you can see. So with that black, we're just going to go around. There we go. I've got a video planned of just doing fancy bits of edges of cloaks and stuff. That'd be a good one. So we're just going to do loads of this sort of thing. See, that just tightens it up a bit. There we go. Always look after your brush. The brush is important. Put the cap back on it. Keep it somewhere safe. Right, so let's glue that shield on. Where's our glue? When you use the blue tack and you're doing the shield, just don't press too hard and you'll find it won't take the paint off. It's not hard to touch it up once it's on the mini anyway. Bloody glue's gone all gooed up. Hang on. It's the trouble with super glue, it does. It's nice when it's new in it, but it doesn't age well, no matter how well you keep it clean. A bit of super glue. Hold it on there. Send it down a little bit. There we go. If you've got paint any of his hand or anything in, make sure, and it's a stupid thing, I'm teaching a lot of you to suck eggs here, make sure that super glue is really dry before you go on there with any paint, because your brush will find any glue that is not dry, I guarantee it, and then you'll be buying a new brush, because once they've got super glue in them, they're at it. Right, so let's have a look what we've got. We've got Cymry warlord from Griffin Beast for Saga. Age of Invasions, isn't it? And he's got a bunny on his shield, because why not? Okay, guys, I think he's done. I'll wait a while before I touch the shield in. So later on I will drop some lacquer on him and chuck him on to Facebook and Twitter and Blue Sky. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. So thank you very much for joining me, and congratulations guys on support, and thank you for your support to getting us to 1,000. Look out for the giveaway video, or at least details of the giveaway video. As soon as I know them, I will pass them on. And if you just watching this for the first time, first of all, thank you very much. Second, if I could trouble you to subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, that'd be brilliant. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Kubla. And very nice to see you. Thank you for sharing your Friday evening with me. Have a lovely weekend. Happy painting. And we'll see you all soon. Cheers then, guys. Night night. Have a good one.